Hello, hello. Good afternoon to us. Happy Sunday. How are we all doing? Yeah. Let me quickly welcome the Facebook community as we start today. Happy Sunday to us. Hello, Facebook family, YouTube family. Yeah. Today is day 12. We are set to go. If you are there and you can hear me, please, I would like you to quickly just go ahead and give this video a like if you can see me, and let's get started. Yeah, today is day 12, and specifically I have titled today's episode self-control. Self-control. Hello, can you hear me? Facebook? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you. I want to appreciate every one of you that's been able to join since we started. Just a second. I think the notification is not out on the Facebook. I want to quickly set it. Yeah, it is good. All right. So let's go there. All right. Yeah, thank you very much. I was trying to make sure that I have my YouTube, my Facebook on the right link. And let me not take our time because I've decided to just keep it short and going. Today's topic is self-control. When I was looking at what is going to stand out with regards to this topic, and as you all know, if you are joining for the first time, I appreciate your time here. And if you have at any time you've not been able to join us since I started this series, I'll implore you to please go watch a replay. I have the replay on the official YouTube channel of Data Think Media. You can always, and if you scroll down all through this page, this group page, you are going to see every videos that we've done previously. Yes, it is available there. And to quickly wrap up and tell you that the reason for this is because I said it that out there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of madness. There's so many things going on out there that if anybody wish to make anything good out of his or her life, if you open your stream, if you open your score, you're being too much into that external stimulus. If you don't learn what we are about to discuss today, if you don't master the subject of contemplation of today, you are not going to make a good use of your life. In fact, you are going to constantly come to a place and a point whereby you are always drained out of life, and it's like you are not in control, you are not in charge. And when we talk about self-control, what we are trying to see is that you and I, we are living in a world, we are living in two worlds. I said it earlier. I said the secret to your success in life or in anything you set out to do have to do with how much, how how effectively you have been able to master this game of self-control, because it goes through your thoughts, your feeling, and your emotion. Every time these three things that I've just played, when you allow them to be in charge of you, you will never ever get to do anything great with your time or with your life. Why did I say so? See, your thought, because I said it earlier, I said we live in two worlds, you and I. Look at me sitting down here with you. I am here. I can touch the chair I'm sitting on. I can touch the table here. I can touch my gadget that I'm using to record. This is the external world that I'm communicating that, and this external world connects me to you. You also, as you are looking at me now, maybe you are just in front of your laptop or in front of your phone, you are watching me. You are also connected to, you can look at around you. You can see your neighbor's car park out there. Maybe you can see your children's toy that is already just in one corner of your house. Or you are externally connected to so many things that as I am relating with you right away now, you might be thinking of the food you have in the cooker or in the oven or whatever. You might be thinking of somebody that you're supposed to call yesterday that you remember. So our thought, our feeling, our emotion is constantly at work. It's constantly at work. It's like there is no pace. There is no stopping. And in fact, our brain is the one that is in center of these two worlds. And when I talk about two worlds, I'm talking about the external world and the internal world. The external world, you don't have control over it. As a matter of fact, yesterday, here in US, they celebrated the 20th anniversary of the September 9/11 terrorist attack. Externally, what happened that day, that year, they had no control over it. There was no how they could have, nobody planned that something like that was coming. They did their best, and thanks to all the first responders, those people that went out there that defy all the danger, still went in to go and save and rescue all those people. But you don't have control over it. It happened. Look at when COVID struck last year. Nobody was preparing that something like that was ever going to happen, that there will be any time in the world, in the history of humankind, that we will all be locked in and we will not have access to the outer world. That is another thing. But as it is today, every time those things happens, there is a place, there is a connection that brings the filters in what is going out there through your feeling, through the thoughts that you attach to it, and through the way you express it, the emotion. And so that is why this subject of self-control is very, very important if you're ever going to be able to make the best out of your life. Why did I say so? Every time you engage with the external world, it brings a message into the gate. And that gate has to do with your brain, where your subconscious mind processed things. And the moment you start to process that thing, you attach a feeling to that thing. Let me just use myself as an example. Let's say I am the type, I have been told that I need to reduce my weight, and I'm planning and working towards losing some weight. And by the way, I just passed by a pizza shop, and the smell just slapped my nostril and every part of me. Immediately, I perceived that odor. Wow. And I don't mean pizza is not healthy, mind you, but I'm just using that as an example. Let's say it's pizza that I want to cut down my eating of from. So what happened? Immediately, the sensory nerve take that odor and bring it inside my nostril and filter it into me. My thought, my emotion, my feeling will remind me, oh, that smell, I know what it is. Why don't you get it? As in, I should be able to get my purse and bring out money and just grab it right away. So it is. When we now talk about the subject of self-control, what are we trying to say? We are trying to see how effectively am I able to filter every thought, every feeling, and every emotion that pass in through the gate. And when I come into that centeredness, that place where the processing of that information is going to be taking place and interpreted, which is going to result into an action, I am able to give the right interpretation that will support whatever thing I'm able to do. And every time you are able to take the right decision at that time, at that moment, the right decision that I'm taking at that moment is what is going to save me and help me from not going to get that thing, which I know at the moment it is not good for me to take. I want us to look at this subject. Why? Because why is this important? The reason why this thing is important is because every day you make decision. Every time you can imagine yourself like now you have two options, or maybe you have an interview, you have two options, you have been given two jobs opportunity, you don't know which one you are going to take, and you are just dilly dallying. So you have to take a decision on what to do, and you don't know what to do. Every time something happens in the external world, it has a way of affecting us. And if you are not able to grow yourself in this place, like I want you to imagine this thermostat, this thermostat. If some of us that knows about the auto functioning of the thermostat, if you live in an environment now, if it's so cold, if your thermostat is being regulated on auto, once it is cold, it will just adjust itself to what? To keeping the room warm. And immediately the temperature change again, and it's like it's too hot. The thermostat again readjusts itself naturally, and it makes the room, it cools all the heat. This is the same thing that we supposed to be doing with our own life, with our own mind. That when our brain brings in, can I imagine when different thing is happening around you every now and then, like, and you have to constantly take a decision to remain in equilibrium, to remain, because if it is too cold, if you don't quickly adjust the thermostat, you are going to shift and you are going to become what? You are going to or if it is too hot, you are going to roast yourself into what? So look at that decision. So the reason is because every time there is sudden change in our entire world, in our outside world, you listen to a news, or somebody just said something, or you pass through an emotion, or somebody at your office triggers you or make you feel bad. Every of those things are what is expecting us to act, to react. But when we don't have the skill and this gift that I'm talking about, for you to be able to master and control your response to the feelings, and somehow related to emotional mastery, that you don't allow your emotion, or you don't allow what the external dictate stimuli is telling you, you are not allowing it to affect the way you react. Okay, this is happening. Okay, what about this thing that is happening? I will just observe it. Because if you react the same way, you know what you are going to cause to your body? Pain. Let me put an example like this. Let's say somebody mistakenly step on your toe, or somebody just trigger or did something that is very make you so angry. Now at that moment that you are angry and you react with that same anger, what you have succeeded in doing is that, what happens? You will use a word. The word you use will aggravate the situation. You will go and say something that you might later regret, and when you say that thing, it raises your emotion, it raises your feeling, your temperament, and you are off balance. You are not in a way of being able to maintain your balance. When that thing is happening to you at that moment, do you know what is happening? By the time you do and rant and do all the negative what have you want to do to just to express that you are angry, when you come back and you calm down, when you are now sitting down, you will now begin to feel depressed, or maybe when you now think about it, you will begin to have emotions that is negative, that is bringing you down. When you're experiencing this, let me tell you what's happening. It's like there is something that you don't want, but because you are engaging in this external world, it is always bringing itself around you, and if you don't to control, you will now go back to that pain. So when you're back home now, you will now begin to feel sorry for yourself. You begin to feel bad. When you replay that event, you now start to go through pain again. Because it's like it's a battle of the wheels. It's a battle of two worlds, and one is trying to get control of you, and you have what it takes to say no. What about you thinking of it this way? Because it is the emotion and the meaning we give to everything that surrounds us that creates the kind of reaction we give to it. What about if I think, okay, maybe she did not actually intend to hurt my feeling? What about she didn't even think about it in this way, and I did not attach that emotion? What about if I did not program that reaction, that behavior in that negative way? That is another way. So I won't feel that. I'll say, okay, she did that. Well, I'm able to learn that anytime something like this happen, I don't need to react this way because I don't want to feel the pain. And with the example of pizza that I just mentioned, it's just the same thing. That when I decide no, I told my God, stay in my conscious mean. I remain very consciously awake and alert. And I said no to that urge to buy pizza. I have succeeded in delivering myself from going through the pain of having to be thinking of how I'm going to lose my weight again because I have done something that is going to add to it. Just like when you religiously brush your teeth every time, every day, or twice in a day. Maybe you have had history the past with tooth, what have you, problem or any issue relating to the teeth. And because of that experience, you don't need to be told that when you see anything, candy, chewing, gummy stuff that could give problem or aggravate what you have there, you know you are not going to go ahead and grab those things because you don't want to go through the same pain you went through before you were able to get relief to that pain. The same way is it every time we filter our environment and we perceive that there is always a tendency for us to be thrown off balance, to be thrown off our normal peaceful stillness, calmness, ease and centeredness. What it behoves of us is to always pay attention to the trigger and to ask ourselves a question: what is this thing demanding me to do? And if I react the same way this feeling is asking me and is demanding from me, what is going to be the result that I'm going to get? If you are able to do this, you will discover that you will be more in control. You will be more in charge of your life than just allowing anything that happen to be the one dictating the way you react. And every time you react that way by not paying attention to listening, you are always the victim. You are always the victim. When you see that and you get that sense, you will see that it will become a reoccurrence thing, that every time you can now be predicted that once somebody does like this is the reaction they will get. This is the reaction they will throw into. And once you are able to put yourself in that state, you can never enjoy that blessing. That you can never enjoy. You see, and one of the things that I want to say about this topic is we are creator of will. We are creator. The way we are modeled, we have what it takes to control ourselves if we choose to. The same thing I just mentioned, that if you have suffered from any tooth decay or any cavity, what have you, and you have been managed by a dentist, and you are now seeing something that is attracting you, you have that will to say, no, I don't want this pain again. And that is all that this issue of self-control is all about. It's about you being able to stand the guard of your conscious mind and really, really react, and make sure that every way you react and every time you want to act, you are not doing it in such a way that is going to inflict pain to you, because you know that you are more than that thing. And so I want to read this thing that I put there. I talk about it, that right now, if okay, okay, let me give you. Okay, so what I want to say here now is that when you start listening and mastering yourself, you learn more. You learn more. When you start listening, you will begin to see more of those things that triggers you. You will begin to notice that if you pay attention to this thing very well, there has been an occurrence that you know that every time you are able to notice that this thing happens from what you did the last time. And so, just like I was making an inference that I said, okay, you are having a decision between, should I go to this place or should I not go? So you are having those two conversations and you don't know which to go. Every time you are having that conversation, it is a calling for you to know that there is a pattern. There is a pattern. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining. There is a pattern. And that pattern is that there is an external feeling that is desirous of you doing what you want. Okay. And the same things, should I marry this person? Should I not marry this person? Should I go out? Should I not go out? Every time you are caught up in that place of decision making and we don't successfully take the right decision, we tend to believe that, oh, I've been caught. And this is where I want to see it, that you don't want to be in this place whereby you are becoming and you are taking yourself as a victim. That because you are unable to take a decision, and the reason why those decisions are important to you is because when you sit down with yourself more, you will know, you understand some patterns, you understand the way your creator has wired you, and some things that does not really go with the path that you really want. And so, with all these things that I have said now, how do you begin to see yourself coming over and gaining control of the thermostat that is around you? How do you maintain balance? How do you keep yourself in a state whereby you are guided more of the internal being, that the internal and the core person inside of you is the one pushing you to do everything? I want you to know that it is sometimes because it is not an easy thing to do. It is not always an easy thing to do. That I just told you, look at the number of cells, the number of all the organs that are functioning in your body, that everything just needs to keep. And every time there's something happening outside there, there's something happening in the outside world. Every time that thing happens, it has a way of affecting you. And you have to keep remaining in tune. Whenever everything happens, any external force happen, you have to constantly remain in tune. So do you now see that it is work to actually stay in control? But if you are ever going to help yourself, you must know that this battle of the wheels, if you don't master it, you are ever constantly going to be among those that will be turned. You will just be on the roller coaster. You will be spinning and spinning. You continue to spin, and it's like you are not going anywhere. It's like you keep moving, and you are not seeing yourself getting into the desired destination you want. And so, what do we literally need to do when we begin to have these clashes? It is time for you to begin to see how you can calm the noise around you. And the first thing I encourage us to do with regards to gaining mastery over ourselves is the fact that you must stay disciplined. Stay disciplined. Once you know that this is something, having an intention to be disciplined, to stay true to something that you know you want. That intention, you have sat yourself down and asked, what is the intention behind what I'm doing? What is the intention behind my coming to show up every day, this time to learn, to teach, and to share together knowledge with my fellow friends? That intention is what will wake me up when I am about to sleep and I see the time is 30 minutes to go. That intention is what will help me. And I just mentioned it, that the practicality of this is that whenever those thoughts comes into you, that why do you think this thing is important to you? You will now be able to judge right and say, okay, look at somebody that's supposed to be going to the gym. The reason why I'm going to the gym is because I know I need a healthy body that will take me through my life. I don't want to have crisis in my future with regards to my health. And because of that, I see the need why I need to pay attention to my health. And that's why I'm going to the gym. Okay. Why am I coming out here to teach and to do all this? Because I realize that this is part of me that I enjoy. This part of me help me to keep in tune with my true authentic self. It brings life, it brings glow into me. I feel that I'm doing my world a service. I feel that I'm adding value to somebody. I feel that I'm not just living my life just only for myself. I feel like I'm helping somebody to create a little shift, no matter how little, understanding and knowledge that can help somebody become better than who they are. And the truth is that when I step out to go and do it, will it be easy? It's not going to be comfortable. Like the scenario of going to the gym, you are going to lose the comfort of your bed, the calmness and all and you're going to step out to go and dress up and then to run to wherever your workout is or whatever. And you will see that exercise alone, it is not easy. But the end, the intention, the goal, the result, that is what is making me to say, I got to get up. That is what's making I got to come online. That's what's going to tell me, oh, regardless of whoever is online or whoever is not, I still just have to show up because I know why I am doing this. So every time you set out intention and you follow it with practicalities, with practical tips that you will be doing, you will see a change. You will begin to master your emotion. You will begin to master yourself. You will begin to tell yourself the reason why you are doing this, and you know why you are doing this. And so when the dentist tells you you should not take this type of candy, should not take this type of gum, you now appreciate the reason, and you are able to rise up within you to go and do it. On the other hand, I want to tell us that if you don't rise up above this and you feel like, oh, I don't feel like it, don't worry, today if I eat today, it's not that calorie that I had is not going to make any difference, so like, I can still take it, let me just take it. I'm telling you, if you don't have a discipline practice, you are constantly going to be thrown back. And once you are able to maintain that intention and you keep having that practice, do you know what you do to your brain? Your brain begin to receive that thing, that this thing is important. Oh, your brain will begin to support you in that cause. That is what happened. That is what happened. And another thing I want to say is you have to unhook from the social media. You have to unhook yourself from every stimulation, everything external that is always constantly throwing you off balance. A lot of us, when we wake up, the first thing we grab is our phone and we keep checking all the messages, all the as good as those things. If you don't spend time with yourself through solitude, in prayers, listen to music, things that will lift you up in such a way that will keep you centered. You meditate on the word, you meditate, you remain in a place where you are quiet by yourself alone. When you are able to do this as a means of an intention and a constant practice that is discipline enough, you will begin to realize more and more that that core being is the real you, and we'll be able to pay more attention to it because it's always talking. And to those of us that are religiously inclined, we know what that means, because that is the place where life really comes from. Because in the realm of that being that I talk about, the internal world and the external world, in between those worlds are those strongholds of words or thoughts, emotion and feeling. And in that range of state of being, the constant willpower battle that is taking place have to succumb to either of the two. And the more of how you have become more quiet and peacefully engaging with the core of your being, of the real you, is what is going to interpret and give you the right interpretation and the right message you have to give to that external stimulus that is trying to display and throw you off balance. So because a lot of us, imagine when you just hear a news, you know what it does to you. It throws you off balance. And once that happens, it's a trigger. Once you are unable to sit and sift it and center it well in a way that will help you to regain and make the inner world be in charge, you are no more in control. It's gone. You are no more in control. And that is why you begin to lose your cool. You start saying what you're not supposed to say. You start begin to. And does it mean that it's every time that everything good will happen? And am I talking like this because you think is it that easy? Do you think it is not that easy? Truly, it is not that easy. But when you look at it, after you have flared up, you have done all the. What do you now gain? You will now see, maybe you will now start having headache because you have shouted, you have lost your cool, you have done all the gymnastics you can do. And now, when you now sit back, you now be having a regret that you didn't even listen. And you will now see your inner world coming to talk to you and saying, if you had listened, maybe if you have hold on, maybe if you have not written that text, maybe if you have not said that word, this could have been a better way you could have approached it. And this is where you need to live in every day. This is where you need to live in, because every time you keep battling, you're constantly scrolling through, doing all those things. They are flaming, they are adding more to the fire of what is already around you. That if you don't know how to lay hold, you are going to be consumed. And we are already distracted. What we have in our hand already in this world already, it's enough. If the media want to want to monitor you in such a way. They know how to get you. They know you already. It's the first beginning of the month. They know some of us will have gotten salary. And what do? They keep all the adverts of all the things they need. They know you must get. They keep showing you. They keep bringing it to you. They keep bringing it to you. What are they trying to do? They are bringing the external stimulus to pass a message to your inner core, so that you do what? So that you go and get those things. And once you get those things, if you are not the type that is disciplined, like we talked yesterday about financial discipline, you begin to see why you are allowing your external world to be dictating to what you are supposed to be doing, whereas it's supposed to be the other way around. You dictate to your body. Look at those guys that build physique, those guys that build bicep and big body, what have you. When they are going through that process of building their muscle, beginning to have all these things, do you know what? That is not a cheap process. Do you know that it takes a ton of work and energy and sacrifice from them? Why were they able to do that? That when you see them like this, either in the wrestling world or you see either in the basketball and huge, they were not born that way. Do you know? It was an intention, not discipline, to want to build themselves and see themselves in that huge, in that space, that resulted into that physique. So also you and I, when we talk about the subject of self-control, you don't have anybody to blame. That the reason why you are like this is because this person. The reason why you are like this is because that person always tell you this thing. The reason why you are like this is because this government did not provide it. The reason why is because my parents did not give me education. The reason why is because when I finished university, I did not get a job. Every excuses you will give to yourself for not being where you're supposed to be will never be tenable when you see others who defy the same excuse and even do not even have up to the opportunity you have, going to make use of it more than you do. And I don't want this to be an excuse that in wrapping up, I want you to begin to see that you've got a lot in your plate that is meant to distract you. But inside of you, you have enough power, and to be able to do just like that thermostat, to adjust you to a place of calmness and balance, whereby you are more of a conscious being. You think before you act. You process thoughts. When somebody is trying to raise your emotion, trigger you with reactions. Somebody is pushing a button just to throw your balance. Somebody, a colleague at work, or your boss is telling you and doing those things, and you're already sensing it. What do you know how to do? What are you supposed to do at that moment? That the fact that that person is doing that is not that person. Or even that person acting that way is bringing a message, but you are able to process that message and see that what about this life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. That this person is trying to teach me more perseverance, this person is teaching me more hard work. The more work he's giving me, I'm not seeing as a punishment. I am seeing as more energy to develop more capacity for me to even become better, because every of those value the person has succeeded in learning and adding to me, he cannot take it from me. It's mine forever. And those days will come that those values and those expansion and those special things that I've given myself to is going to be to my advantage in the future. So every happenings that happen, I don't want you to see it as if life is happening to you, no matter how difficult it might be. Maybe life is trying to teach you something. Pay attention to the lesson. Pay attention to the lesson. Because when you sit down alone and you allow all the things that is separating you, that is dragging you up, and you sit down, you will be able to hear. And the more time, the more space you give to silence all the noise around you to yourself, the more energy and the more growth you will experience. Because more and more, your inner core, your inner world is growing, and it's like you are building that muscle. Each day, you develop yourself, you engage in any form of personal development, reading books, listening to music, watching literature, and everything that will help you to grow and become the best of you. Every of those exercises is meant to grow you, your inner being, into who you are supposed to be. And each day you subject and submit to those core exercises that I just said, you are going to see you are giving more time and more energy and spending more space with your being, with your person. You will be able to know more better. And when certain things happen, you will just imagine yourself, wow, did that thing actually happen to me? I can't believe it. So she actually did that. I didn't even react. I didn't even know. You will not even know when that growth will have taken place because you are taking more time to grow yourself into becoming just like what we learn about the law of attraction. That when you know that when you focus more on negative thoughts, what happens? You begin to see everything negative around you. When you see somebody do something wrong now and you start shouting, you start yelling, you see that trigger begin to give you every time around you. You just begin to notice something negative, something somebody did not do, somebody that did not greet well. But do you know that this other way of it is when you now decide to focus on something you want to see more of it in your life, and every day you allow only those things to feature around you, to center around you, to be the only thing that you see. How beautiful is that space? How wonderful is that space to be? And I want to challenge you and encourage you, friends, begin to surround your life with more of those things you want to see. Surround your space, surround your time. When you wake up in the morning, listen to music that uplifts. Take your time, do your devotion, whoever you believe in, call on him. Be intentional about your day. Set out an intention on how you want your day to be. And that even if somebody acts anyhow on you, you are intentional that I am not going to allow anybody to throw me off this space, because you know what it gives to you. Can you imagine when you grow in this space of peace, centeredness, calmness, ease, stillness? You are able to pick things. You have more ideas, you have more initiative, you have more wisdom. You grow yourself to becoming a master of so many things. And when other people are just trying to they are full of all this jargon and all this nonsense. When you talk, they are able to relate with what you're saying. That wow, come on, this person has stuff. This person is really, really engaging. And so, in wrapping up, if you forget anything, don't forget this: the battle of wills. That your inner world and your external world, they are competing, and whoever win is the one in charge of your life. And if you want a life that is controlled, that is centered, a life that is not full of chaos, because you already know if you are full of noise, full of, the other side of it, anxiety is to bringing different sickness, different emotion, different depression and what have you, because you are constantly high up, you are constantly triggered, and you don't know how to, those things, they will affecting your well-being, your well-being. And when you talk about your health, well-being, it talks a place of state of mind where your mind, a state of well-being of your mind, mental state. And there's no how you can mentally be balanced if your brain is constantly wired up to react to every external stimulus that comes around you. So it's time to get control, friends. It's time to be in charge. It's time for you to sit at the driver's seat of your life and tell yourself, I am in charge. It's high time I stop allowing my environment to dictate to me what to do. It is now time for me to react with whatever things I don't have. There are some things I don't have control over. But what do I have control over? Okay, I can change this space of mind. Okay, I can change how I relate, how I react. I can change my circle of friendship. I can stay away from people that are negative, or from friends and association that doesn't bring out that peace and that space of me that I want to see more of. When you do this to yourself, you are going to thank yourself in the future, because you are going to see the shift and the great changes that you're going to begin to experience with regards to your personal self. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So those are the 3 ways that I said: practice solitude, unhook yourself from more of the social media, practice digital dieting. As good as the social media is, make sure you have a time that you have allocated for it. If you don't have that time, you can be there 2 hours, 3 hours, and you will not know. You can be spending hours every day, and you will have discovered that you have spent most valuable resources of your life and you're unable to get it back. So use it wisely. That is the summary. And then do intentional discipline of those things you know you're supposed to be doing that will produce the results you want to see. And when you do that, you are going to begin to see the product, which is More of you being able to control your body, your thoughts, your emotion, and your feelings. And when you are in that state always, that state is a state of energy, is a state of glow, is a state of flow. In that state, ideas don't struggle to come to you. In that state, you talk, people respect you. In that space, you make recommendation and people just say, oh wow, where did you get that idea? Oh, that's novel. How did not even think of it, because you have given more world noise that is out there. That is the secret, friends. So don't forget this. Take it as a matter of urgency from this day to begin to give yourself and your life the control you need, which is what is going to make you a master of your life and which is going to produce the success you want in your life. Because when you are not in a state of mental state of balance, you cannot do much. You cannot achieve much. Mentally, you are not sound. Your brain, I told you about, how many interpretation that this brain has to do every time you are sitting down. Even you want to look at a woman that is pregnant. You know how many parts of her body that is working at the moment, at the same time. And that's why when I look at Nigeria, it's like that is the same thing that I'm trying to explain. When I look back at my country, Africa, and look, when everybody, they are just reactionary, everybody's just waiting for somebody to it's like they are having a nail on their hand. We are just looking for the right person to just nail. It is just so negative out there that you have to constantly withdraw intentionally to keep your mental balance, to keep your space, so that you don't lose your cool, so that you are still able to maintain a sanity state as a human being. Thank you, friends. This is where I'm going to be stopping. I hope you do find at least one thing that is useful that you can practice start from day that you can use to begin to master and practice this subject of today, self-control. Tomorrow is day 13, and I look forward to seeing you. And what we're going to be talking about is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. And that is what we'll be talking about tomorrow. And a lot of us are going through so many judgments that we have refused to let go, to release ourselves from our past, from so many things that we have locked up inside it. And tomorrow, by the grace of God, when we share this, I believe it's going to uphold and help us to get everything that is locked here out, so that we can be able to free ourselves more to the more of the light that we need to be able to bring the life changing impact that our lives is meant to do. Thank you very much for watching. I love you. Thank you for commenting. And until I see you tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your evening. It is bye from here. Please do share this video with someone that you love. If you know that this video resonates with you, kindly share with someone. Thank you. Bye.